Hey folks, so this is my third time attempting to record this video. I'm going to try to make it short and sweet. I'm just so angry and so um, sad. I wish I could say I was surprised or disappointed, but quite frankly, I'm not. I posted a video this morning that you can go back and watch about the elections in Georgia and how, I was inspired by that. I thought it was great, but that, overall, I really didn't think that was going to change a whole lot and so forth. So please go back and watch that if you want some insight about that. But then, oh my Lord, the rest of the day happened. I am just beyond myself. Um, and again, I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked. Have anybody who's been paying attention and isn't blinded by their hate and misogyny and homophobism, not sure how to say that in the context of that sentence, but all of these people uh, have so much hate. I mean, all so many of us are trying to do is just carve out a loving world where people can have health care and education and people won't be murdered because of the color of their skin. And people don't have to listen to hate speech because so and so whatever. Um okay, so in all seriousness I have to say this. I am not a violent person. But I do own guns and I do know how to fight. I pray that this whole coup stays isolated in DC and that the military and the authorities uh, uh, act swiftly to resolve it. These people need to be arrested. I quite frankly don't care if you have to shoot them down in the street. But this needs to be stopped. It needs to be squashed. If this fight comes to my front door, I'm ready. I will protect my family and myself. I will not allow you fascist Confederate bullies to take away what so many have been fighting for hundreds of years. We have come too far and we have too far to go backwards. If you are a Trump supporter, if you condone or support what is going on in DC right now, you're a racist Confederate. And I know many of you are going to say, oh, well, there's black people that support this, there's Mexicans that can support this. I can't help that there are ignorant people in every group. But it doesn't change the facts. It doesn't change the fact that there are all of these white people, many of them armed, storming the Capitol. And they've basically been permitted to do it to a large extent. I was involved in protests back in the spring and the summer. I know how heavily the military and SWAT teams and everybody else was out in the streets. with unarmed protesters, just asking people not to kill them. These monsters are in D.C. wanting to kill people. Wanting to kill people who don't look like them or think like them or act like them. And law enforcement is complicit. I don't want to let go of this energy. I don't want to let go of this anger because I'm not convinced yet that this fight is not going to come to my front door. I hope that it doesn't. But know this, if you were a Trump supporter, if you were a racist Confederate, you're no friend of mine. I've got nothing to say to you. Just don't mess with me and mine. And then underneath this anger, I've got so much sadness. The world does not have to be like this, folks. It's not that hard to love each other. It's not that hard to allow each other to live our lives. You don't need to agree with it. It doesn't matter what your religious teachings say or what your history says. If I don't follow your religion, I'm not bound to what your religion says. People just, most of us, I truly believe, do I? Lots of us just want to live. We just want to be able to work and make money. To not have to work 50 or 70 hours a week to barely survive and never get a vacation and not have health care or not have money to pay our deductibles. To be able to go to school and not be in debt for the rest of our lives. It's not a lot that people are asking for, and it's completely doable. But even those of you white, racist, Confederate, Trump supporters, fight against your own self-interest. Because you're so blinded by hate. Race-based and religious-based hate. You lost. You don't have a country. And if you want to live in this country, you got to learn to abide by the rules of this country. I'll tell you, folks, we got Biden in office now. We've got Democrats have control of the House and Senate. We need to change some critical things over these next 2 years before the next midterm election, because we could lose control of the House and Senate again. Some critical things need to happen to make our democracy better. We need to get them to enact term limits. We need to get them to dismantle the structures that allow for majority leaders in the House and Senate, or that can have so much control, one person or two people have so much control over anything getting done. We need to get rid of the Electoral College. These are the critical fundamental components of how our democracy works and is hindered from working fully that need to be fixed before we can even think about trying to fix many of these other things. Gerrymandering needs to be done away with. People live where the hell they live, they vote how they vote, and you deal with the freaking outcome. Once we fix these things, then maybe we can seriously work on healthcare and education. Maybe we can get some more parties into our political debate and structure instead of being pawns of these two monsters that are both basically out for the support of whoever's funding their campaigns. These are critical things that have to be done. We got to pay attention. We got to get involved. We've got to push for these things to happen. Call your senators, call your congressmen every single week, more than once a week, until they get these changes enacted. Then maybe we can talk seriously about how we redistribute funding to the police and the military and start funding some other things better. If the past 4 years, and more importantly, this last election cycle and the past 3 months since the election cycle, 2 months since the election, if they've shown us one thing, it is that our system is corrupt. Many of us knew this long ago, but it's blatantly obvious now that we have to fix these things. We're going to be right back in this same situation in 4 years. So I want to stay angry. Angry helps keep me in action, helps keep me motivated. I'm also going to be careful not to try not to instigate, but to just be here to protect and to state what is fact. And sadness, I'm going to carry this sadness. This is such a scary time. There's a lot of people out in this world that I love. That could be seriously harmed. Including my children, because of the color of their skin and how they look. We got to fix this, people. And it's clear that the racist, Confederate Trumpsters are not interested in trying to move forward in a healthy, holistic way with the rest of us. So we have to stay diligent in opposing them. Because if we give a little bit of room, they're going to take a mile. We got to be on our game, folks. We got to let them know we are as ready to defend as they are to agitate. And I'm not 100% sure what that looks like, but it's something I'm definitely going to be thinking about. All right. I don't know what else to say, uh, except that I'm signing off with anger and sadness.